Now, as if this weren't enough, still at the same festival, still at that high point, now showing that the people were rejecting him, not because they didn't understand, but they're rejecting him because they do understand. And friends, I tell you this as well. You don't need to figure out how to give them what they want or are willing to accept. You need to give them what they need. They need Jesus. They need the gospel. And when you or I water it down so that they'll like it, you've left the plantation of the Prince of Peace. He never fishes with bait. He never figures out what they'll accept. He always tells them what they need. Yours and my place is not to edit the story, it's to tell it. It's to share his gospel truth as he did. Now he gives us in John 9 the living proof, the breathing illustration, and I pray the inspiration for you, Christian.
What a strange thing that is. You do not know where he comes from, but he cured me of my blindness. We know that God does not listen to sinners. He does listen to people who respect him and do what he wants them to do. Since the beginning of the world, nobody has ever heard of anyone giving sight to a person born blind. Unless this man came from God, he would not be able to do a thing.
You were born and brought up in sin. And you are trying to teach us.
And they expelled him from the synagogue.
You get this? So the one Christ-like guy gets thrown out of church, right? All the experts in the world who show no honor or respect for those that have been changed by Christ, but hold up a worldly standard, are all wrong. The experts here are the liars. The experts are the liars. I pray that you see yourself in this blind man. That's me, right? Some of you know tragic realities as a part of your existence, right? My mom took her life when I was 3. No doubt, some of you know tragic reality. If you ever ask the question, who sinned, Lord? Someone, know this, that all of life's tragic realities are a part of God's purpose to somehow bring glory to him. And we may not always be able to connect the dots, but we know those dots connect. Know that peace. Note the faithful obedience. Jesus said, I am the light of the world. And then he came and proved it. And he gave a man born blind light miraculously. This is the story of the gospel. You and I first, unlike the Pharisees, we have to see and know that we're blind. And know that if we'll come to Christ, or if when he comes to us we respond, that the miraculous can happen. Note the Pharisees and the parents. I pray you don't miss this, right? Says that they refuse to believe. We've talked about this in previous weeks. Unbelief is never satisfied. Unbelief is never satisfied. The parents, we love our kid, and you better believe they knew what miracle took place, and they knew the details, no doubt. But they were so afraid of not fitting into their culture. You see, to be expelled was to have their whole world turned upside down. It wasn't like they had to go find another church. It was that they were literally put out of their culture. I ask you, friends, are you willing to be put out of your culture? I pray that you are. Jesus commands that you and I be willing to. And here's the thing. Those that know what they've received in Christ, they want to. They want to. Do you notice the difference between this man healed of his blindness and the paralytic of chapter 5, if you remember? Same basic picture, right? Jesus comes and heals them miraculously. The one who doesn't like Jesus confronting him throws Jesus under the bus with the Pharisees. This one confronts the Pharisees and say, listen, I don't know all your church lingo. I don't have all that religious stuff down pat. This I know. I was blind, now I see. What else you want to know? You know the tone of voice when the religious oppression, when the religious liars stand up. The blind guy who'd been with Jesus doesn't back down. Like Jesus, he hits the throttle, right? We'll throw you out. I don't care what you do. I was blind, now I see, right? Lazarus, we'll kill you. Been there, done that. Doesn't bother me anymore, right? We'll throw you in the furnace, even if our God doesn't come. We know that he is able, and we will not bow down to you, culture. Do you see Christ and his boldness in these examples? These are not super duper Christians. These are Christians. These are people and examples that have a knowing that God has given them in the truth that both provides and divides. Friends, do you know this truth? Is this who you are? I pray to God that it is.